I was brought into the ketogenic lifestyle after my son was diagnosed with brain cancer 8.5 years ago.
3 years ago, my oldest son was diagnosed with a large brain tumor at 19 months old.
The third diagnosis is when I took the ketogenic diet serious, and because of doing so, it was the one and only time we didn't treat the tumors with any kind of medicine.
And I went from 5 to 7 seizures a day to virtually none at all in months.
And then to see that just a change in diet stopped the seizures, I feel like it's very important for people to hear that food is medicine.
I'm Audra and Wilford, and I'm the Chief Hope Officer of MaxLoveProject, and we serve families who have a child fighting cancer or related life-threatening illness with whole body wellness and what we call fierce foods, nutrition, culinary medicine, which is a metabolic approach to whole foods-based nutrition. And I was brought into the ketogenic lifestyle after my son was diagnosed with brain cancer 8.5 years ago. We started on the ketogenic diet 6.5 years ago, and it's been instrumental in supporting his quality of life with what has been, what we've been told is an incurable form of pediatric brain cancer.
I'm Adrianna Stephenson. I am a brain tumor parent. That's how I kind of fell into this keto realm. 3 years ago, my oldest son was diagnosed with a large brain tumor at 19 months old. We did standard of care, and we added a therapeutic ketogenic diet 4 months into chemo. We saw amazing progress, and he just turned 5 and has been considered no evidence of disease since December of 2018. And I'm a mom on a mission, doing everything that I can to share our journey with the hopes of empowering other parents to consider keto as a frontline intervention.
My name is Josh Perry. I'm a former professional BMX athlete, and along my journey of overcoming multiple brain tumors, I stumbled upon the ketogenic diet, and the third diagnosis is when I took the ketogenic diet serious, and because of doing so, it was the one and only time we didn't treat the tumors with any kind of medicine or surgery or treatments, and just lifestyle changes really empowered myself to take my health back in my own hands. And today my mission is to inspire that perspective of us having the power in ourselves through lifestyle choices, sometimes and a lot of times, to be able to take our health back and to really shift that perspective in other people to know that they have a chance at empowering themselves to live the best life they possibly can. And so I'm here today to be a part of this amazing community and to share that message with the masses.
My name is Linda Sullivan. I had a brain tumor when I was 20 years old. I've had 2 brain surgeries, drug-resistant epilepsy. Tried keto after 2 failed brain surgeries, and I went from 5 to 7 seizures a day to virtually none at all in months. So I'm here today to share my story in hopes that it inspires others to realize that food is medicine.
And I'm Miles Sullivan's mom, Linda Sullivan. I started the ketogenic diet when Miles started it just because I thought, it's a lifestyle change and he could use a little support. Obviously, having watched my son do, 2 surgeries, the second one was an elective surgery for a resection of his brain in order to stop epilepsy. That did not work, and then to see that just a change in diet stopped the seizures, I feel like it's very important for people to hear that food is medicine.
To see these doctors and researchers and scientists and then people like ourselves that I call civilians are just out here trying to make a difference but really educate ourselves and passionate about their work and distilling that and sharing it with other people, I think it's amazing. It's what makes this event so special.
These are very kind of siloed, disciplines. So you've got the scientists who deal more with rats than they do people, but they are really doing very important work. Then you have clinicians who, many of them are burned out, many of them are trying to take what the scientists are doing and apply it to their patients, but they're also dealing one-on-one with patients. And then you have the civilians, I like that, the people at the ground level who are parents, they're working through this, they're treating their own health conditions, and you can kind of all live in different worlds. And ultimately, something like this conference, what it does is it takes us all out of our own silos and brings us together to have meaningful conversations, to have organic interactions and build those relationships, because ultimately, I think that's the only way to move the needle forward, is that if we all are playing our role and are aware of what each other are doing, to be able to move it forward.
it gives me so much hope to see how many medical experts are up there spreading actual studies, and I'm seeing, brain tumors and seizures up there, and I'm looking at, wow, there's so much hope up there for so many other people, and I'm not just a random person that was an abnormality that I got better all of a sudden. There's so much data out there for epilepsy.
Metabolic Health Summit does a very good job of also, because I literally can get overwhelmed with research, but I've already gotten emails for the slides for the last 3 days. We had today's slides before the presentation slides were given to us before even the presentation. So we really have the data and the information that we want, that I'm going to take some time to absorb. But that to me is very exciting to see these professionals all coming together from different silos, which I love that, and sharing what they're learning and sharing it, and pushing that message forward is just really empowering and exciting.
The Metabolic Health Summit tagline is where keto science meets society. And echoing what all of you have been saying, I've been to many, many academic conferences. It's really interesting to see presenters dip in and dip out for their presentation. And so they're presenting their study and then they're out, right? And so they're not even really collaborating on understanding what other people are presenting. And then there's not much dynamic work happening there with collaborating and sharing. There's not much translational work that comes out of that either. And there's definitely not lay people, civilians, society, in that mix. And there's definitely no expo part of it. So they're taking the academic conference and really changing the format to be inclusive, diverse, empowering, breaking down the silos, presenting the scientific data, but then translating it out for the masses, giving us time to come together, collaborate, talk, mix. That's where change happens.
I like the vendor expo part of it too, because when you have a child that's battling cancer and you're putting them on a ketogenic diet, it is really nice to have things like prepackaged treats that you can trust, because that is ultimately how we've made this a sustainable lifestyle for us. I mean, when they're getting chemo and everything else is graham crackers and cookies and hot Doritos, and I mean, truly, that's what the oncology nurses will bring them. And to have a prepackaged keto cookie with ingredients that I can trust and that are clean, that's an amazing convenience that I don't take for granted. And I've seen such a tremendous shift in the last 3 years of what's available. And I think we're also entering a space, well, especially here with the vendors, you get less and less ones that are using a bunch of junk ingredients. And I'm seeing more that are actually being very conscious about what they're putting in. That's, to me, that is music to my ears as a parent dealing with a child with this. Because I don't know about you, but ultimately that makes this a sustainable lifestyle for us.
Well, I feel like the Metabolic Health Summit for me personally is a refueling.
Yes.
Yeah, we're preaching to the choir. Cool thing is the choir changes. I have my functional medicine doctors here. She's never been here before. Our dietitians from our children's hospitals are here. They've never been here before. And the format where this is presented is opening so many doors for people to learn about things that's not their subspecialty. That's not their exact little niche that they're going to a conference for. And so there's a lot of opportunities to learn, come together, collaborate, meet other people, network, really be involved, refuel. The choir's expanding, but then as we refuel, I think because of all of you, I go back into the space that I'm in with new ideas, reinvigorated, new energy, and really new information and new thoughts about how you can connect with others. And I'm not going to connect with everybody. I'm not going to connect with a fraction of the people that need to be connected with. That's why we're all essential pieces of a much larger puzzle, because she's going to connect with people who I'm not connected with, so on and so forth. And we need this entire conference to do that same thing, and to be able to reach out with our own stories and kind of our personal way of conveying and connecting, to be able to be available.
It can be very isolating where you're putting this out in the social media world, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have, peer support at home to do it, right? And I think these kind of experiences for me, I always say it fills my cup, right? I feel, and it reinvigorates me, because from my perspective, some days it is very hard, and I feel very vulnerable sharing our stories so publicly and sharing pictures of my children, and I try to be very respectful of that, but at the same time, it is exhausting, and a lot of people don't want to take the time to do their own research, and they have demands of you. And for me, coming to something like this, it's like I can take a breather because I'm around not just friendly faces, but people that truly understand what we're doing. It just nourishes my soul. So when I leave here, I'm like, absolutely, not only are we on the right track, what other children can we save? What other people can we help? What other families can we do? And it just gets my creative juices flowing of what can I do next? How can I do more? And that's where, community is such an important part of it. And groups like MaxLoveProject, I mean, we are, we call them the OG dozen. That's what we're going to call them, the original 12 mama mentors. And we're all in different parts of the country, but ultimately it's that sense of community that's how we can make bigger change going forward.
I lived in fear for the first 2 years of me applying this lifestyle because I didn't know enough, I thought. And that's where my insecurity led me to learning the deeper mechanisms of the biology and the physiology of learning that. And I love it, but it was started from that. Now I'm just confident, just showing like what I know. I'm not a medical professional. None of us need to be doctors. We're living proof of what we believe in. So just fires me up to want to do more and find new ways to do more of it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That's all I know.
Awesome.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
He's good.
How you feeling? Probably not. I don't want to talk too much, huh? There you go.